Anton?
I'm One Punch Man.
You literally are One Punch Man.
Yes. I'm a hero for fun.
Now, as I understand the character of One Punch Man, he is a bored superhero.
I'm bored.
Because every villain that he hits, he only has to hit them with one punch. And they're dead.
Yep.
Okay, so what I like about this idea is that you could do that to cancer.
One punch. Knock cancer out. I just look like him because I'm bald. He trained so hard that he went bald.
Well,
which is how I've been training.
You cancered so hard.
Yes.
That you're bald also.
I chemoed so hard.
Yes.
All my hair came out.
Okay. So, we have an announcement, don't we?
Well, yeah, sure.
We have big news. Yeah, would you like to do the... Okay, would you like to tell them?
Okay, that confused dogs. Dogs, love you. I have essentially the most perfect donor match that I could possibly have for a stem cell transplant. All the markers.
Okay, stop.
We'll talk about that.
That's not exciting enough. Do over. Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a transplant.
No.
Oh, sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a donor match.
Anton got a phone call when he was doing chemo, his last round of chemo.
2 weeks ago.
Letting him know that the people that they had potentially matched him with, they had narrowed down and had found the perfect match for Anton. There are 10 out of 10 potential markers in a standard donor match. In Anton's case, not only were they able to find a donor with 10 out of 10, they went an extra 2.
Yeah, then they had 2 other markers that they were...
2 more DNA marker matches, and they found a person with that too. So Anton has a 12 out of 12, best possible case scenario you can have, donor match. And he will be getting a transplant.
Starting on June 6th.
You will enter the hospital next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
He'll get a trifusion and start chemo.
Trifusion port.
It's like a PICC line. It's just got 3 instead of 2, but it goes in the chest. And he will start a pretty aggressive round of chemo at his transplant date, which is also known as day 0, and or your new birthday is
June 13th.
June 14th.
June 14th.
Yay!
Yay!
One Punch Man.
Knockout cancer.
You're cute.
I'm trying.
Okay.
Close.
So we want to talk a little bit about what happened to you last week that was so dangerous and what you went through.
I wanted the complete leukemia experience. So I decided to get neutropenic fever last week. So I wasn't feeling good. I thought, I'm okay. So we went to the clinic for a regular scheduled thing. And they immediately pulled me back and said, oh, we're going to admit you to the hospital.
Well, you had a fever.
I had a fever. And then it just went, I don't think I've ever been that sick in my life.
No, I don't think you have either.
Because and the reason...
And you've had malaria.
And I've had malaria.
More than once. So you got super sick. And it went from bad to worse. From having a fever to being diagnosed with having parainfluenza, which is a virus. And then while he was going through the parainfluenza diagnosis, he was having so much trouble with his head and so many headaches. They finally called in an ENT. And he came in and looked at Anton and offered 2 options. One was a bedside procedure, which he did do, to look into the sinuses the best he could with his instruments and kind of gently clean it out if he could, just right there at bedside. He did do that procedure, but he really recommended that Anton go through a surgery after looking at a CT scan of Anton's head.
Right. He
noticed that Anton had something in his sinus cavity that was most likely fungal and potentially mold. And
it wasn't mold.
And it wasn't mold, but they didn't know that until they got in there surgically to look at it. And so what ended up happening is they ended up cleaning out the sinus cavity through a surgical procedure, whereas Anton was completely under. It was very risky. It was very dangerous. The doctor told me afterwards, and I just didn't get my head around this until after the fact.
Right. Me neither.
That it was extremely dangerous what Anton had. And he told me after the surgery, it has a 60% mortality rate.
You don't do it and this stuff keeps growing in your head.
No, I meant the condition.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the surgery.
And so, of course, I didn't know that. I thought that Anton was getting this surgery to go in, look at it, see if maybe they could see what might be causing the headaches, maybe clean it out a little bit to help him with the pressure and the pain he was feeling. I didn't see it as mandatory.
I almost died.
Yeah.
Twice during this thing.
What he said.
And
literally.
I was chasing, you chase medicine. The medicine makes you feel good for 2 hours, but you can only have it every 4 hours.
Yeah.
So for 2 hours I'd sleep, and then I'd wake up with this headache, blah, 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 pain,
I mean, headache
whatever.
doesn't cover it. I've never seen him in so much pain, except when you did your bone marrow biopsy that didn't have, basically,
right,
with no painkiller.
That was different. So that was that.
Okay.
So it set back the announcement of telling y'all about my match, which we were really, really excited about.
We were so excited. So the official transplant date is scheduled for June 14th. We anticipate Anton will be in the hospital for, the entire month of June.
Yep.
And, I think I'm a little nervous. Are you nervous?
I'm scared to death.
Okay, that's probably a better way to put it.
I'm scared to death. If not, so, yay, you got a transplant. But it's,
well, yes, it is. It is.
But you're not. That's the beginning. That's the beginning.
This is the hard part about leukemia. In your case, Anton must have a transplant to survive. He doesn't have any other options. He has to have a transplant. That is your last resort.
Right.
In order to get out of this loop of chemo that keeps the leukemia at bay. So we go in for his trifusion next Tuesday on the 6th and the 7th, I believe.
Yep.
Or the 8th.
7th.
They start this ablative chemo, and it is intense. It is a heavier and harder dose of chemo than what he went through in January. Now, they have to do that because they have to take any remaining bone marrow that Anton has, and they have to kill it, good or bad. The reason they do that is because they're going to replace it with somebody else's bone marrow, and in that case, they're giving him an entirely new immune system from this person, this donor.
Yeah.
So the chances of when you have this 12 out of 12 marker, like Anton has, this donor match with a 12 out of 12, it's ideal because genetically speaking, from a DNA standpoint,
right, this is best the possible do.
It's the best possible scenario because your body recognizes it as its own almost, and so it won't. And so the chances of it attacking it are much lower.
Right, I'm scared.
I know.
It does. There's no guarantee that it takes. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantees, obviously, in life. Anyways, but it may not work, even with all this other kind of this match. There's still many other issues that may come up, and that scares me to death.
I know.
Because I already get sick from the chemo. That's just part of how it works.
Everybody, yeah,
and
sick from chemo.
Now I'm going to get more sick.
Yeah.
Before I can get better. Well, that takes about a month.
Yeah.
Once that's done, you're still not over. Then you still gotta build up your strength, make sure that you're going into the clinic to get blood tests to make sure things are progressing well. If you get sick, you get admitted to the hospital immediately. Same thing as what I've just did.
Well, you're still going to need clinic
all that
visits
other kind of stuff
a couple times a week. You're still going to need transfusions for a while. You're still going to need platelet transfusions.
Right, because it's still building the blood and everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, all that other kind of stuff.
In essence, it's going to wipe you completely out. The chemo will take you really low. And then the transplant comes in, which, in case you were wondering, I've had a lot of people ask me and been surprised when I told them, so what are they, taking the bone marrow out of you? No, they're not.
No.
The chemo is going to kill his bone marrow. It targets the bone marrow. And then the new donor, it's just a bag of blood. That's all
special
it is.
bag.
It's
Very,
a
very, very special
it's
bag of blood.
super special. But
But
it's just a
stem
bag
cells.
of blood.
Yep, it's just a bag of blood. They don't go in and they're not like surgically putting stuff into my bones
Right.
or anything else like that.
Yeah.
That's just the amazing way our bodies are made, that they'll hang this bag of blood and it absorbs into my marrow.
Yeah.
And that becomes my new immune system.
Right now, Anton's bone marrow, which is where the blood is produced in your body, is
Right.
in the marrow, is kicking out is kicking out immature blasts. That's what they're called when you have leukemia. It's producing these blasts, right? And they're sick. They have cancer. Those are the leukemia. So when they do these bone marrow biopsies, they're looking to see if they can locate blasts in Anton's blood and what percentage, what's the percentage of blasts that it's producing. When he gets his donor transplant, the idea is that it will assimilate into the marrow and it will start producing healthy cells.
Right.
Not these immature blasts that put out leukemia, but we're giving him an entirely new bone marrow with the hope that the cells that it produces are cancer-free. And so it's just fascinating, and the technology is fabulous. Oh, hello. Hello, sir.
Okay. So anyways, so that's what's happening in Bucher world.
I like it when you put your arm around me.
Thank you.
That's kind of like...
I like putting my arm around you. I'm the only person allowed to do it.
Well, I don't know. Friends do.
Yeah.
But you're the only one who's allowed to, like, kiss my cheek.
There you go.
Nice.
All right.
We'll keep you guys updated as we move into the next steps of transplant and hospitalization.
Next week, Tuesday.
We're gonna need a lot of prayer. We're gonna need a lot of support.
Yep.
We're gonna need a lot of love. This is gonna be a really rough month coming up. It's hard for the kids. It's hard for us. It's hard for anybody going through this. We kind of have a shaky plan set up for June so far. So we'll see how that goes. A little bit wobbly towards the end there, but we'll get there. But mostly, you know, just your love, support, and prayers for us have meant the world. And I do feel they have made a huge difference in our morale.
They must.
In our morale.
Well, and then even getting the match.
And in healing and the donor match. And how it's not just a match. It's the perfect match. It's the match. It's be the match.
Yes, be the match.
You guys are awesome. You're the best support group I think anybody could ever ask for. And we are so grateful to you. Thanks for walking this journey with us. It's not over yet. We have a long way to go. But every day is another step in the right direction, right?
Yes. You can see One Punch Man on Netflix. But you got to take it for what it is. It's awesome.
Okay. Did you not want to sing at all on this
Sing?
one? You know, did you want to do any campfire songs?
No. No singing.
I thought that was pretty good last time.
Sing.
You know what really bugged me after the last video? When we did Peace Like a River, I forgot it's Peace Like a River.
Oh, I forgot that too.
No?
No.
How about a little Our God is an
I don't want to sing.
God he raised. I can do it in sign language.
Yeah, I know you can. I mean, you can do everything singing wise. Oh, now you're forgetting. Okay. Yes, he's an awesome
Everybody
guy.
just sang with me.
He is an awesome
If
guy.
you knew that
know
song, did you
but
sing
yes,
it?
yeah.
You wanted to.
Okay.
Every camp I ever went to sang that song.
I know.
I know. I just wanted to put one more in there. It can't hurt. This is light of mine.
No, we already did that one.
I was kind of making fun of you.
Don't make fun of me.
Okay. Tough crowd.
Yes. Yes, you got it.